Pain woke Gia. Her head throbbed as her eyes slowly opened. Red emergency lights blinked around her. The escape pod systems made soft beeping sounds. Something was wrong. Very wrong. She tried to sit up, but her body ached. The pod had landed hard. Too hard. Gia touched her forehead and felt sticky blood. Not too much, just a small cut. "Status report," she said, her voice dry and cracked. The pod's computer answered in a flat voice. "Emergency landing complete. Hull integrity at 78%. Life support stable. Communication systems damage." Gia's memory came back in pieces. The research ship Horizon *, the sudden attack. The alarms, people running. Captain Yoon shouting orders. The escape pods launching as the ship broke apart. "Where am I?" she asked. "Planet designation unknown. Atmosphere oxygen level 19%. Breathable but caution advised. Toxicity levels moderate. Planet shows signs of advanced ecological breakdown." Gia unbuckled her safety harness and stood up slowly. Her legs felt weak. The small window of the escape pod showed an alien landscape under a dull orange sky. Dead trees with twisted branches stretched across cracked, dry soil. In the distance, mountains rose like jagged teeth against the horizon. "Any other escape pods detected?" she asked, hoping she wasn't alone. "Negative. No other Horizon escape pods detected in range." Gia's heart sank. Had anyone else survived the attack? The Horizon had carried 200 researchers and crew members. Earth's best scientists, exploring the far edges of known space. All gone. What happened to the Horizon *? She asked, though she already knew the answer. The research vessel Horizon * was destroyed by Krell Empire warships at 6:43 ship time. Attack was unprovoked. No warning received. The Krell. Of course. The empire that ruled this sector of space with cruelty and greed. They took what they wanted and destroyed what they couldn't use. Humans were new to this part of the galaxy. The Krell saw them as a threat. Gia checked the pod supplies. Food and water for 10 days. Basic medical kit. One hand laser for protection. A small tool kit. An emergency beacon that should call for help. "Emergency beacon status," she asked quickly. "Emergency beacon damaged during landing. Repair required." Gia closed her eyes. No beacon meant no rescue. Earth was months away at the fastest ship speeds. No one would come looking for a single escape pod on an unknown planet. She was alone. Taking a deep breath, Gia gathered her thoughts. She was a scientist, a problem solver. First, she needed to know more about this planet. Then find water, shelter, and maybe other forms of life. There might be resources she could use to repair the beacon. She put on her environment suit. It would filter the air and protect her from the planet's toxins. The suit's scanner would help her find water and analyze the surroundings. Before opening the pod door, Gia checked the external cameras. Nothing moved outside. The landscape was still, like a dead thing. "Computer, continue scanning for signals or signs of technology. Alert me to any changes." Acknowledged. Gia pressed the door release. With a hiss, the pod opened to the alien world. Hot, dry air rushed in, carrying the smell of dust and decay. She stepped onto the cracked ground and looked around. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth's. She could see farther across the flat, barren land. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the dead landscape. As darkness began to fall, Gia noticed something strange. In the distance, where the land met the mountains, tiny lights flickered, too steady for natural fires, too organized to be random. Lights meant people, or at least some kind of intelligent life. "Computer, mark my location. I'll return before oxygen levels drop too low." Gia checked her laser, secured her water pack, and began walking toward the distant lights. The dying planet crunched beneath her boots. Above her, Unfamiliar stars began to appear in the darkening sky. She was far from home, alone on a world that was slowly dying. But those lights meant hope. And right now, hope was all she had. The walk was harder than Gia expected. The ground kept breaking under her feet. Twice she nearly fell into deep cracks that opened suddenly. The air, even filtered through her suit, made her throat dry. But the lights grew closer. After 2 hours, Gia reached a flat area near the mountain base. The lights came from small holes in the rock wall. She approached carefully, her hand laser ready. Science had taught her caution. A noise made her turn quickly. Something moved in the shadows. "Hello," she called out. "I mean no harm." Silence. Then a voice, speaking a language her translator couldn't understand. A figure stepped from behind a rock. It was about Gia's height but thinner, with pale blue skin that seemed to glow slightly in the darkness. Large, dark eyes studied her. The being wore simple clothes made from some kind of fiber. Gia's translator worked to process the language. After a few moments, it began converting the alien's words. "Why have you come here?" the being asked. "This world is dying. There is nothing for your kind." "My ship was attacked," Gia said. "My escape pod crashed. I'm stranded." The being stared at her, then nodded slowly. "The Krell. Yes. You know them. All who suffer know the Krell." The being pointed to the mountain. "Come. The night air grows toxic soon." Gia followed the alien through a hidden door in the rock face. Inside was a tunnel lit by the same soft lights she had seen from a distance. They walked downward for many minutes until the tunnel opened into a large cave. The cave was filled with technology. Old machines hummed. Screens showed data. A few other beings like her guide moved around, working quietly. They all stopped to stare at Gia. "I am Da," her guide said. "We are the Nuri. Once we ruled this world. Now we are its last children. I'm Gia. I'm human, from Earth." She looked around at the underground base. "What happened to your world?" Day's face showed sadness. "The Krell happened. They came 300 years ago. They took our minerals, our plants, our water. They broke the planet's balance. When nothing valuable remained, they left." He gestured to the machines. "We stay to protect what matters most. How many of you are left?" 4, Daz said. "Most Nuri left on great ships many years ago, seeking new homes among the stars. We stayed to guard our people's greatest treasure." Dad led Gia deeper into the cave system. They entered a round room where 3 other Nuri worked. An old one with white hair looked up from a complex machine. "Dai, why bring an outsider here?" the old one asked. "Her ship was destroyed by the Krell. Sung. She has nowhere to go." The old one, Sung, studied Gia with eyes that seemed to see everything. "Human. We have heard of your kind. New to the stars. Curious. Sometimes foolish." A younger Nuri looked up from a panel she was fixing. "Is that why the Krell attacked your ship? Because humans are expanding too quickly?" "Eon, be polite," said a tall, strong-looking Nuri by the door. "It's okay," Gia said. "The Krell attacked without warning. We were only researching the star system." "The Krell fear knowledge in others," Day explained. "They keep their power by making sure no one else gains it." Some walked to a sealed door at the back of the room. "Perhaps they feared what your people might learn." He pressed his hand to the door, and it slid open. Inside was a small chamber. Floating in the center, suspended in a beam of light, was a crystal-like object. It pulsed with soft blue energy that reminded Gia of Earth's oceans. "The heart of Taiyang," Sung said with reverence. "Our people's greatest creation, and the real reason the Krell came to our world." Gia stared at the beautiful object. It seemed to call to her somehow. "What does it do?" "It can heal worlds," Day said simply. "It can restore life where death has touched. It can undo the damage the Krell have done." "Then why haven't you used it?" Gia asked. The Nuri looked at each other. Finally, Sung spoke. Because it will not awaken for us. The heart waits for someone else. Someone the old stories spoke of. As Jia looked at the glowing heart, it seemed to pulse brighter, as if responding to her presence. The heart is responding to you, Sung said, his voice filled with wonder. The crystal pulsed brighter when Jia stepped closer. That's not possible, said Han, the tall Nuri who guarded the door. She just arrived. Eun, the young technician, ran a scanner over Jia. Her biology is different from ours. Maybe that's why. Day touched Jia's arm gently. The old stories tell of visitors from distant stars who could wake the heart. Our ancestors called them the hand of creation. A loud alarm suddenly filled the room. Red lights flashed on the walls. Perimeter alert, Han shouted, running to a screen. Something entered our atmosphere. A Krell scout ship. They followed her pod's trail, Yun said, looking at Jia with suspicion. No, Sung corrected. Our sensors would have detected them sooner. They are searching. But for what? Jia felt cold fear spread through her body. For me. For the heart. Both, perhaps, Daz said. The Krell want all architect technology. Architect technology? Jia asked. The beings who taught our ancestors how to make the heart, Sung explained quickly. No time for history lessons now. We must hide you and the heart. Han checked his weapons. The mountain has many tunnels. We can. A second alarm sounded. This one was different, deeper, more urgent. Eun ran to another screen. The life support systems are failing. The main power core is overheating. Jia moved toward the screen. Let me see. Han blocked her path. Why should we trust you? Because I'm a scientist, Jia said firmly. And because if your life support fails, I die too. Day nodded to Han, who stepped aside reluctantly. Jia studied the system diagrams. Your cooling system is blocked, she said. The filters are full of dust. This planet's air is too dirty. We know, Yun said with frustration, but we can't shut down the system to clean it. We'd suffocate. Jia thought quickly. On my research ship, we had a similar problem once. We created a bypass system. She grabbed a tablet and drew a simple diagram. Like this. It will let you clean one section while the others keep working. Sung studied her drawing. This could work. Hyun, get the tools. Han, watch the Krell ship. Dae, help me with the parts. For the next hour, they worked together. Jia showed them how Earth engineers had solved the same problem. The Nuri were smart and learned quickly. Soon, the alarm stopped. The life support system hummed smoothly again. You saved us, Daz said, offering Jia a cup of water. I helped, she corrected. We did it together. Han watched the monitors. The Krell ship is landing 10 miles from here. They're sending out search drones. They will find us eventually, Sung said. Our shields cannot hide us forever. Jia looked at the heart of Taiyang, still pulsing gently in its chamber. You said this can heal worlds. Can it help us against the Krell? If we could activate it, yes, Daz said. But none of us can wake it fully. Eun looked at Jia thoughtfully. But it responds to you. Maybe you can. How? Jia asked. I don't know anything about this technology. Sung walked slowly to an old cabinet. He opened it and took out a small device. This is a memory crystal. It contains what little knowledge we have about the heart. He placed it in Jia's hand. Study it. Learn what you can. Meanwhile, Han said, checking his weapon, we prepare to defend ourselves. The Krell will be here soon. I have a better idea, Jia said. Let's set a trap. Draw them away from this place. The 4 Nuri looked at her with surprise. You would help us fight? Han asked. You gave me shelter when I was lost, Jia said. You shared your water and knowledge. Where I come from, that makes us allies. Day smiled for the first time since Jia had met him. Perhaps the old stories were right. Perhaps you were meant to find us. Outside, the wind howled across the dying planet. The Krell ship sat on the cracked ground, its search drones flying out in all directions. In the mountain, 5 beings from 2 different worlds began to plan their defense. Sometimes allies come from the most unexpected places. They found the entrance. Yun shouted. The plan had worked too well. Jia and Han had left tracks for the Krell to follow, hoping to lead them away from the main facility. Instead, the Krell had split into groups. One group followed the false trail. The other found the hidden door. How many? Han asked, checking his weapon. 6 Krell soldiers, Yun said, watching the security screen. Heavy weapons. They're cutting through the outer door now. Some moved quickly for an old Nuri. We must protect the heart. Tai, take Jia and the heart to the southern tunnels. I can fight, Jia said. No, some replied firmly. You must protect the heart. It is more important than any of us. Day carefully removed the heart of Taiyang from its chamber and placed it in a special container. The crystal hummed softly, its blue light pulsing through the container sides. The southern tunnels lead to the old city ruins. Da explained to Jia. We can hide there. Yun hugged Jia quickly. Study the memory crystal. Learn how to use the heart. Han gave Jia his spare weapon. Point and press. Nothing complicated. What about you? Jia asked. We will create a diversion. Sung said. Make the Krell think we all went north. A loud explosion shook the room. Dust fell from the ceiling. They're through the outer door. Yun shouted. Go now. Dad pulled Jia toward a small tunnel at the back of the room. They ran as another explosion sounded behind them. The tunnel sloped downward, deeper into the mountain. Will they be okay? Jia asked as they ran. Sung and Yun know the tunnels better than anyone, Da said. And Han is a skilled fighter. They ran for what seemed like hours, through narrow tunnels and large caves. Sometimes they had to crawl through tight spaces. Other times they walked through huge chambers with glowing crystals in the walls. Finally, they reached a small door hidden in the rock. Dai pressed his hand to it, and it slid open. We are now beneath the old city, he said. The surface is not safe, but the Krell won't expect us to go there. They climbed stone steps that led upward. The stairs ended at another door. Day opened it carefully and looked out. Clear, he whispered. They stepped into the ruins of what once was a great city. Broken buildings stood like dark shadows against the night sky. The orange moon cast strange light across the dead city. My ancestors built this, Day said sadly, before the Krell came. They moved quickly between the ruins, staying in shadows. The heart of Taiyang glowed in its container, forcing Da to cover it with his cloak. A sound made them freeze. Something moved behind a fallen wall. Da pushed Jia down and raised his weapon. 3 Krell soldiers stepped into view. They were tall and strong, with gray skin and black armor. Their faces were hidden behind masks with glowing red eyes. Run, Dai shouted, firing his weapon. Jia ran, holding the heart tightly. Behind her, she heard more shots. Then a cry of pain. She looked back to see Dai fall. She wanted to go back for him, but the Krell were coming. She had to protect the heart. She ducked into a broken building and kept running. Outside, she heard the Krell searching for her. Their heavy steps crushed the rubble. Their voices called to each other in harsh sounds. Jia found a small space under fallen stones and hid there. Her heart beat so loudly she feared they would hear it. Suddenly, someone touched her shoulder. She almost screamed before she saw it was Han. He was bleeding from a cut on his face. Where's Da? He asked urgently. They shot him. I couldn't help him. Han closed his eyes briefly. Give me the heart. We must reach the sanctuary. What sanctuary? A special place, far from here, where the heart was made. As they crept from the hiding place, a Krell soldier appeared. Han pushed Jia aside and fired, but not before the Krell shot him in the chest. Han fell hard. Run, he gasped, pressing something into Jia's hand. Coordinates. Sanctuary. The Krell soldier raised his weapon again. Jia fired Han's weapon, hitting the soldier. He fell backwards. Han clutched her arm. Humans, special, can wake the heart. His voice grew weaker. Your mind. Right pattern. I don't understand, Jia said. Old stories. Visitors from stars. Like you. Han's eyes close. Go, before more come. Jia looked at the small device Han had given her. It showed a map with a blinking light far to the west. She had to reach the sanctuary. For Han. For Da. For all of them. Jia ran until her legs hurt. The heart of Taiyang glowed in its container, making it hard to hide. She wrapped it in Han's cloak and kept moving. Behind her, she could hear the Krell soldiers searching the ruins. She checked the map device Han had given her. The blinking light showed the sanctuary was in the mountains to the west. Far away. Too far to walk quickly. Jia found a place to rest in the basement of a fallen building. She sat with her back against the wall, breathing hard. Her hand touched the memory crystal Sung had given her. Now was the time to learn. She activated the crystal. Light poured out, forming pictures in the air. The images showed the history of the Nuri, their great cities, their science, their peaceful world. Then came the Krell. War, destruction, the dying of the planet. But there was more. Before the Krell, other visitors had come to this world. Tall beings with light around them. The architects. They had shared knowledge with the Nuri, taught them how to make the heart of Taiyang. The heart requires specific mental patterns to activate. A Nuri voice explained from the crystal. Our people can maintain it, but not fully wake it. The architects said that someday their kin would come from the stars. Only they can unlock the heart's full power. Jia paused the recording. The architect's kin. What did that mean? She heard noises outside. The Krell were getting closer. She had to move. Checking the map again, Jia saw there was an old transport tunnel that could take her toward the sanctuary. She gathered her strength and moved carefully through the ruins. The entrance to the tunnel was hidden under fallen rocks. Jia cleared them away and found a small door. It opened with a groan of old metal. Inside was darkness. Jia used the light from the heart to see. The tunnel stretched ahead, with old tracks on the floor. Once, trains had run here. Now it was empty and silent. Jia walked for hours. The tunnel felt endless. Finally, she saw light ahead. The tunnel opened into a valley between mountains. In the center stood a building unlike the others. It was made of a material that shone even in the dim light. Its shape was not Nuri design. It was older, different. The sanctuary, Jia whispered. She approached carefully. There was no door she could see. But as she got closer, carrying the heart, part of the wall simply vanished. An opening appeared, inviting her in. Inside was a single large room. The walls were covered with symbols that glowed softly. In the center was a platform that looked like it was made for the heart of Taiyang. Jia placed the container on the platform. The room came alive. Lights brightened. The symbols on the walls began to move. Then figures of light appeared around her. Some looked like Nuri. Others were different. Tall, with features that reminded Jia of humans, but more perfect. One of the light figures spoke. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere. Welcome, child of Earth. We have waited long for your kind to find us. Who are you? Jia asked. Memories. Echoes. What remains of those you call the architects? Another figure moved forward. This one looked Nuri. I am the memory of Taiyang, the one who worked with the architects to create the heart. Why does it respond to me? Jia asked. Han said humans are special. The architect figure nodded. Because you are our descendants. Long ago, we visited many worlds. On Earth, we left part of ourselves. Your people carry our patterns in your minds. Jia could hardly believe what she was hearing. You're saying humans are related to you. Yes, that is why you can activate the heart. That is why the Krell fear humans. They know what you might become. Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the sanctuary. Red lights flashed on the walls. The Krell have found us, the Taiyang figure said. Outside, Jia heard ships landing. Many footsteps approached. They cannot be allowed to take the heart, the architect said. You must activate it now. How? Jia asked desperately. Place your hands on it. Open your mind. Let it see you. As Jia reached for the heart, the sanctuary doors exploded inward. Krell soldiers poured into the room, weapons ready. Behind them walked a Krell without a mask. His face showed intelligence and cruelty. A commander. Step away from the architect device, human, he ordered, or die where you stand. Jia's hands hovered over the heart of Taiyang, inches away from changing everything. Last warning, human, the Krell commander said. His voice was cold. Step away from the heart. Jia looked at the Krell soldiers. Their weapons were aimed at her. She looked at the heart of Taiyang, glowing blue on the platform. Then she looked at the light figures of the architects and Taiyang. What will happen if I touch it? She asked them. Connection, the architect figure said. Understanding. The Krell commander laughed. They don't tell you the cost, do they? The pain, the change. Jia hesitated. Was he telling the truth? Decide now, the commander ordered. He raised his hand, ready to signal his soldiers to fire. Han was dying. Dad might be dead. Sung and Eon were captured or worse. This planet was dying. All because of the Krell. Jia made her choice. She placed her hands on the heart of Taiyang. Light exploded from the crystal. It flowed up her arms like liquid fire. Jia cried out as pain shot through her body. Her mind filled with strange images, stars, planets, people and creatures she had never seen. The Krell commander shouted, "Fire!" But nothing happened. The soldiers couldn't move. The light from the heart had frozen them in place. Jia felt like her head would burst. So much knowledge poured into her. The secrets of the architects. The true power of the heart. It was more than a tool to heal planets. It was a key to unlock minds, a way to share understanding between all living things. Through the pain, Jia saw the history of the Krell. They had once been peaceful, like the Nuri. They had built great things and explored the stars with wonder. But then their leaders found pieces of architect technology. They used it to gain power, but without the mental patterns to use it properly. It changed them, made them greedy, cruel. The heart was pulling Jia deeper. She saw Earth. She saw how the architects had visited long ago, how they had left small changes in human DNA, not to control, but to connect, to prepare humans for a future among the stars. She's bonding with it, the commander said with fear in his voice. Stop her. One soldier broke free from the light's hold. He fired his weapon at Jia. The blast hit the wall behind her. The sanctuary shook. Jia barely noticed. The heart was asking her a question. Not in words, but in feelings. Did she want to help? Did she want to heal? Not just this planet, but the Krell too. Yes, she whispered. The light changed. It grew brighter, warmer. The pain faded. Jia felt the heart become part of her. Its knowledge settled in her mind like memory she had always had but just forgotten. She opened her eyes. The Krell soldiers backed away. Their weapons fell to the floor. The light from the heart now filled the whole sanctuary. What are you doing to us? The commander demanded. He alone stood his ground. Helping you remember who you were, Jia said. Her voice had changed. It carried echoes of other voices, the architects, the Nuri, all who had touched the heart before her. She raised her hand. The sanctuary responded. Old systems came to life. Machines hidden in the walls began to hum. The building itself seemed to wake up. This place isn't just a sanctuary, Jia said, understanding flowing through her mind. It's a seed, a beginning. Energy pulsed from the sanctuary, spreading outward across the planet. Where it touched, things changed. Dead soil stirred. Dried rivers began to flow again. The toxic air started to clear. The Krell commander watched in shock. "This is impossible." "No," Jaya said. "This is what the heart was made for, to heal what was broken." She could feel the planet responding, life awakening after centuries of death. And she could feel more. The minds of the Krell soldiers, their confusion, their fear, and deep inside, buried under years of training and control, their original nature, the peaceful explorers they once were. Jia smiled. "It's not too late, for any of us." The heart of Taiyang glowed brighter in her hands, and for the first time in 300 years, rain began to fall on the dying planet. The Krell commander stared at Jia. His soldiers stood frozen, confused by the changes happening inside their minds. Rain fell through the broken roof of the sanctuary, touching their faces. "What have you done to my soldiers?" he demanded. "I haven't done anything to them," Jia said. "The heart is showing them the truth. Who they were before the corrupted technology changed your people." The commander's hand moved to his weapon, but he didn't draw it. He seemed to be fighting with himself. "My name is Jin," he said finally. "I am 4th Commander of the Krell Empire's Research Division." Jia watched him carefully. The heart gave her new senses. She could feel his conflict, his struggle. "You're different from other Krell commanders," she said. "Why?" Jin looked at his soldiers, then back at Jia. "Because I know what we once were. I've studied our old records, from before we found the first architect artifacts." He stepped forward slowly. His soldiers remained still. "I've been searching for the heart of Taiyang for years," Jin admitted. "Not for the Empire, but for our people." "You want to use it as a weapon," Jia said. "No," Jin shook his head. "I want to use it to heal my people, just as you're healing this planet, to undo the corruption that has twisted us for centuries." Jia felt the truth in his words. The heart confirmed it. But then she felt something else, a darkness approaching. "Commander Jin," a harsh voice called from outside. More Krell soldiers entered the sanctuary, led by another officer. This one's armor was black with red markings. His eyes were cold. "Commander Ro," Jin said stiffly. "I didn't request backup." "The High Command doesn't trust you with this mission," Ro said. "They sent me to ensure success." He looked at Jia and the glowing heart. "I see you found the architect device. Good. Secure it and kill the human." "No," Jin said. "This isn't what you think. The device isn't a weapon. It's—" "I don't care what it is," Ro interrupted. "Our orders are to bring it back. Step aside, Jin." Jia felt the hatred in Ro. The corruption ran deep in him. The heart could help him too, but he would fight it. "The human has activated it," Jin said. "She's bonded with it somehow." Ro laughed. "Then we'll take her too. Our scientists will figure it out." Jin moved to stand between Ro and Jia. "I cannot allow that." "Traitor," Ro hissed. He drew his weapon and fired. Jin dodged, but the shot caught his shoulder. He fell back against the platform where Jia stood. "Kill them both," Ro ordered his soldiers. But before they could fire, Jin's soldiers moved. They formed a line between Ro's men and the platform. For a moment, no one moved. Then Jin spoke to his soldiers. "You feel it, don't you? The truth. The memory of who we were." One by one, Jin's soldiers lowered their helmets in agreement. Ro's men hesitated, confused by this rebellion. Ro fired again, hitting one of Jin's soldiers in the chest. "Obey me." Fighting broke out in the sanctuary. Shots flew across the room. Jin pulled himself up, wounded but still protecting Jia and the heart. "You must complete the activation," he told her. "The heart can stop this." Jia focused on the heart. Its power flowed through her, but she wasn't sure how to direct it. "Help me," she whispered to the memories of the architects. "Show me how." The light figures appeared again, visible now to everyone. The fighting stopped as both groups of Krell soldiers stared in wonder. The sanctuary's defenses, the Taiyang figure said. Use them. Jia understood. She placed her hands on the platform. The whole building hummed in response. Energy fields appeared, separating the fighters. Weapons stopped working. The fighting couldn't continue. Ro screamed in rage. He pulled a knife and charged toward Jia. Jin stepped in his path, catching the blade in his side. Both Krell fell to the floor. Why? Ro demanded, held down by the energy field. Why betray everything we are? Jin, bleeding badly, looked up at him. To save everything we should be. Jia knelt beside Jin. The connection with the heart gave her knowledge, but could it give her the power to heal? There was only one way to find out. Jia placed her hands on Jin's wound. Blood covered her fingers. She closed her eyes and felt for the heart's power inside her. It was there, warm and bright. Help me heal him, she whispered. The power flowed through her arms and into Jin's body. Blue light spread across his gray skin. His breathing, which had been shallow and quick, began to slow and deepen. The wound closed slowly under Jia's hands. Impossible, Ro said, watching from where the energy field held him. No technology can do that. It's not just technology, Jia said. The architects built the heart with something more. Understanding. Connection. The things your empire forgot. Jin opened his eyes. Thank you, he said softly. Around them, the sanctuary continued to pulse with energy. Outside, the sound of rain grew stronger. Through the broken roof, Jia could see the sky beginning to clear. The orange haze was fading, revealing stars. It's time, Jin said. Complete what you started. Jia returned to the platform. The heart of Taiyang floated above it now, spinning slowly. She placed her hands on either side of it, not touching it but feeling its energy. What are you doing? Ro demanded. You'll destroy everything. No, Jia said. I'm going to fix everything. She connected fully with the heart. This time, there was no pain. The knowledge flowed smoothly, showing her exactly what to do. She directed the power outward in a great wave. The wave passed through the walls of the sanctuary and spread across the planet. Everywhere it touched, change followed. Dry riverbeds filled with clean water. Dead soil turned rich and dark. Seeds that had waited centuries in the ground began to sprout. The toxic air cleared more with each passing minute. But Jia didn't stop there. The heart had shown her more. She focused the power on the minds in the room, Krell and human alike. A mental bridge formed between them all. Suddenly, every person could feel what the others felt, could understand as the others understood. Ro screamed as the connection formed. He fought against it, but couldn't break free. Memories flooded through him. His own people's history before corruption, the suffering of the Nuri, the hope Jia carried from Earth. His hatred began to crack under the weight of understanding. Jin's soldiers removed their helmets. Their faces showed wonder as they experienced the connection. Even some of Ro's men began to lower their weapons, overcome by the shared consciousness. This is what the heart was truly made for, Jia said. Her voice echoed strangely, carrying the wisdom of the architects. Not just to heal planets, but to heal minds. To remind us that all intelligent life shares the same basic hopes and fears. Outside the sanctuary, the planet continued to transform. Birds that had hidden in deep caves returned to the sky. Small animals emerged from underground shelters. Plants pushed through the newly softened soil. The air grew sweet and clean. Jia felt something else through her connection with the heart. Other minds far away. The Nuri were alive. Sung, Eon, even Da had survived. They were weak but alive, held as prisoners in the Krell ship. She sent the heart's energy to them, healing their wounds and breaking their bonds. As the connection spread, Jia saw more. She saw the broken pieces that had corrupted the Krell long ago. Not architect technology as they were meant to be, but twisted, damaged fragments. The heart's energy flowed to these pieces, repairing what had been broken, removing the corruption. Ro fell to his knees. "What have we become?" he whispered. For the first time in his life, he saw clearly what his empire had done. What he had done. Jin stood beside Ja. "We can change," he said to Ro. "We can be better." The sanctuary glowed with power. The planet hummed with new life. And in orbit above them, the Krell ship's weapons powered down as their crews felt the connection spread among them. Through it all, Gia stood at the center, a bridge between worlds, between species, between past and future. The human who awakened the heart, the one who reminded them all what it meant to truly understand each other.